Welcome back to AFL Madden Timeline History. I just totally junked that timeline title up, but we'll roll with it as we are on to Madden 13 Season 3. Stokes, one thing I have not mentioned yet in Madden 13, and this did happen before Madden 13 started, but we'll go ahead and sneak it in now, was the invention, I don't want to say invention, but the movement of AFL to Facebook. It happened prior to Madden 13 even starting. We still were in Zat chat at this point in time, but we had migrated a lot of our guys to Facebook. I actually, on the original team selection, got the Green Bay Packers, and they were considered the best team in the game. And as a contest to get guys to join our Facebook page, I said, anybody that likes this post in the next week, I'll put your names into a drawing, and you can have the Packers, and I'll take whatever team you get. A little behind the curtain, there was no drawing. I just took the team I wanted the most, so I can say that now.
In other words, years removed.
Yeah. And Joker ends up winning the drawing, so I get the RG3 rookie Redskins. Lucky me. And yeah, Pizak was upset because he actually had a team going into Madden 13, but he didn't last very long. But Stokes, let's talk about Facebook for a second, because at the time it may not have felt like a big deal, but it's hard to imagine AFL even existing now without it.
Yeah, I think Facebook has been the best addition to of any of the other things we've done for the league. I think Facebook has really brought AFL to an entirely new level, and I know we're going to miss those moments we had in the chats and all that kind of stuff, but I think AFL has really changed a lot, because we can do the articles and get all that kind of feedback over the course of a day, whereas if you're in chat, the topic changes so frequently that it's hard to stay on topic, I mean, unless you're in the middle of some sort of fest. And with Facebook, those fests can be confined into that specific thread or whatever the case is, and I think Facebook has been a wonderful addition for AFL, and it's really separated us, I think.
And from a commissioner standpoint, it makes it a million times easier to see who's trying to set up these games, because back in the day, we'd come into chat and, somebody be like, hey, I messaged him twice on here, private message, he never responded, and you almost had to just take their word for it or text somebody, and if they don't get back to you, then figure out something. Now, there's nowhere to hide. We post all the matchups, and if we don't see one person responding on that post or somewhere on the Facebook page, then we just assume they're not doing their job. It just makes everything so much easier, and like Stokes says, it's there forever. It's not like chat where once it scrolls up far enough, you don't ever see it again. So chat was great for what it was. I still think chat has some value in some leagues, maybe not AFL, but Facebook is, in my opinion, the glue that holds AFL together. I'm going to credit Scott Warner with that, because he got us all set up on a Facebook page. Most of us made fun of him at that point in time, and it turned out to be one of the best ideas in AFL history. So Stokes, we are on to Madden 13 Season 3. Radio show still going strong at this point in time. One guy that's also going strong is Joker. He had the Green Bay Packers. He was rolling people at this point in time. He was putting up 50 points a game, 40 points a game, breaking records. And he went undefeated this season and made it all the way to the Super Bowl to take on your Buffalo Bills. And I remember being in chat the day of the Super Bowl, and I was so glad you made it to the bowl, because you were one of the only guys that streamed, and I wanted to get a look at Joker's offense, so I was glad you made it so I could actually see it. Funny story, I was out, you were playing Dom in the conference championship game. I'm out to a dinner with my wife for something, and I'm like watching the game on my phone, and I just felt so cool at that point in time, because technology even 4 years ago wasn't what it was today. So I was just like watching it on my phone, and you were down big against Dom, and you came back and won, and we can talk about that in a bit. But so you go on to play Joker, and the story of this was, we were in chat, and I remember specifically Costa said Stokes is a 14-point underdog in this game, because nobody could slow down Joker. A couple of us were like, well, you may not be giving Stokes enough credit here. Stokes has always been one of the better players. It may not have happened so far in Madden 13, but he might have something for Joker. You end up, I think, dominating Joker or blowing him out. You win the game. Stokes comes on the radio, makes his radio debut. I'll put that in the description later. Do you remember anything about this Joker game or the dynamic of you being the underdog going into it?
I do remember being the underdog. I remember thinking to myself, "What are these guys thinking?" By thinking I'm the underdog. But I just knew that this was going to be a statement game for me because I saw his stats. I understood that he was really good, and having been in a division with him in Madden 12, that really helped out because I knew a lot of the concepts he was going to try and work with, and it was. I don't remember anything about the game in particular. I do know that I had Chris Johnson at that time, and Chris Johnson was a friggin' monster.
One of the worst trades in AFL history. Rilo sends you Chris Johnson for Eric Wood and a first-round pick.
Rilo, that dude he is the biggest MVP. I mean, that's really what helped me out, Chris Johnson, and I was really happy to silence anyone that thought I was the underdog in that particular game. So I wish I could remember things from that game, and I wish I would have took notes or something like that. But
well, we do have a highlight run from that game that's in a end of Madden 13 highlight video I made for the entire AFL. And there's one Chris Johnson run where he slices and dices through the defense, so I'll release that video at a later date. But Stokes, you beat Joker, you get your first Super Bowl of Madden 13. You've now won a Super Bowl in Madden 13. You won 2 in Madden 12. So any idea that maybe you were just a Madden 12 fluke or anything like that, you've established yourself now as not only one of our core owners, but one of our best owners as you've taken your Super Bowl and won it over multiple platforms of Madden.
Yeah, that was very important to me. Showing that I wasn't just a guy that was going to be good at one Madden, and that's really what I want to do every time a new Madden comes out. Just make sure that I can be good at the game and that I can still be the type of person I want to be as far as my personal Madden morals. So it's excuse me, it was important to me to make sure I win a bowl in every Madden.
So you win this bowl against Joker. This is Joker's now second Super Bowl loss of his AFL career. This one he may have gone in as the favorite and went undefeated, so that one stings. I've been there. You'll find out about that down the line where you go undefeated, lose a Super Bowl. It does sting. You exacted some revenge on Dom, though, as Season 1 Conference Championship game, Dom got a big lead. You came back but couldn't quite close the gap and lost. This Conference Championship game, I remember this one very well. Dom got a big lead again, and you came back and won. I don't know how much you remember about this game, but I'm sure the fact that it played out much the same way and that you were actually able to overcome it had to be a great feeling.
Of course. At that point, it's like, well, maybe just Dom has something for me that I don't have, and it's always great to get over on the person that has been knocking you out, and that's why it was so important to me to to go against Ridge as often as I did, because it's a great battle, and you look forward to those games. Whether you're going to win or lose, it's the process of being in the game and just playing against a good player.
So we didn't get our annual Ridge-Stokes matchup in the playoffs this year. It took a year off as Ridge was actually upset by Dom in the second round of the playoffs. Dom beat Trump first round, beat Ridge second round, falls to Stokes in the third round. On the other side of the bracket, we had Pepe's Bengals falling to Sewell's Colts, and then Sewell's Colts losing to your Buffalo Bills. On the NFC side, we had MJ Kite's Rams losing to, who had the Falcons? Smooth's Falcons. And then Smooth's Falcons got blown out by Joker's Packers. That may have been it for Smooth as far as AFL was concerned. My Redskins beat Cheesin's Giants in the wild card round, then lose to Hans Seahawks, setting up a classic game between Hans Seahawks and Joker's Packers in the championship game. Joker wins the game, but Stokes wins the bowl. Guys, that is a look at Madden 13 Season 3. Stokes is on the board in Madden 13, got one Super Bowl. Can Stokes get another Super Bowl in Madden 13? He got 2 in 12. We'll find out down the line if he can add another one for Madden 13.